Hârnworld was designed as a detailed, realistic, flexible, and system-neutral setting. It was inspired generally by Norman England, but it includes dwarves, elves, and orcs, and other fantastical creatures. It aims to balance realism and fantasy together into an immersive experience, rich with layers of detail and a feel of medieval authenticity. I've run a campaign in Hârn myself, and I found it to have all the depth of information I love to have in a game. There's plenty of space to make it your own as a GM, but it provides an extremely thorough structure on which to build, beyond any other setting you'll find. It all began in 1983 with the release of the Hârn Regional Module, a folio publication including information about the Harnic Isles. It also contained the first iteration of the Hârndex and a large color map of Hârn. The second edition of Hârnworld came out in 1990. This revised and expanded edition included content covering the continent of Lithia. And the third edition was first published in 2014 and again in 2020. This edition expanded the artwork and content, and it featured colorized versions of the classic art from previous editions. Now, Hârn has been described as low magic, but it's more accurate to call it magic rare. Magic exists, it can be wielded by characters, and it can be very powerful, but it's not so common that you'll come across it every place you go. And that's also true of the more strange and terrifying monsters. The scope of the setting is vast, spanning from the grand to the minute. Even the solar system is fully spelled out. The lands of Hârnworld are on a planet called Kythera, and that entire planet is mapped completely, with all kinds of details. For example, the structure of the plate tectonics. Even the constellations you'd see in Kythera's night sky. The setting is mostly focused on the Harnic Isles, though, and this is why the setting itself is called Hârnworld. Its history is very developed, from the mythic rumors of a forerunner race called the Earthmasters, then moving to the arrival of the elves, dwarves, humans, and others, and the development of all the kingdoms up until what is considered the present in the setting. Specifically, this is the year 720 TR in Harnic Reckoning. This present time is where everything in the books stops, because what happens now is up to the way you run your game. In other words, Hârn's future is always your game's future. Hârn is mapped in great detail in several ways, from a highly detailed poster map, to a cultural political map, and even a trade map. Each Harnic kingdom has its own source book with maps and plenty of details about the culture, history, cities and towns, and the people of the kingdom. There are details such as the ruling house's coat of arms, fully mapped towns and cities, and in each place, lots of detail on individual NPCs, their interests, even their motivations. The core Hârnworld book gives an overview of the nations and peoples living and adventuring in the Harnic Isles, along with information on the basics of feudalism and manorial life, as well as all of Hârn's history. It also contains information on weather, trade and guilds, religion, and more. There are two other main sections in this book: the Hârndex, an encyclopedia of information about the setting, and a large section covering Lithia, the closest continent to the Harnic Isles. Once you've looked over the Hârnworld book, a good next step in getting ready to run a game is to buy one of the Kingdom books and begin your campaign there. The level of detail in these books is just what you need to get your character's story going.
Hey, thanks for watching this video. Of course, it always helps us out if you like and subscribe. And check this video's description for a link to a few other cool things from Game Talk Network. Links to other channels in the Game Talk Network, like the Board Game Rundown, the Miniatures Rundown, and the Lorcana Rundown. A link to our Patreon for the Game Talk Network, where RPG Rundown is one of the pledge levels you can select. And a link to our GTN Discord server. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.